Hello, my name is Annette Thiessen, and I just want to share my heart with you, especially about my Mama Bear series that I've started. And this particular painting, especially behind me, called Tender Love. I'll show it to you in a few minutes. But I just want to share my heart with you. You know, I love being a mother. I love the experience. It's probably been the most fulfilling experience in my life. Of all the things that I've been able to accomplish and do, being a mother has been the most fulfilling. You know, and I know that most men are like so glad that they're not women and so glad that they don't have to be the ones that birth babies into this earth. Every man that I know, they're like, oh, I'm so glad I'm not a woman. But I, as a woman, I love being a woman. I love feeling the fulfillment of motherhood, of womanhood, of feeling beautiful, of knowing that God has destined my life for greatness. So I just really want to share with you today some of the inspiration behind my Mama Bear series. And you know, I my first daughter was born when I was almost 26 years old. I was in the Amazon jungle. I She was a beautiful little baby girl, 7 pounds 14 ounces, 7.5 pounds almost, a little more, and of course, there's a huge learning curve, right? For all of our firstborn, there are guinea pigs. But she was born at a Wycliffe Bible Translation Center in the middle of the jungle with a midwife, actually Canadian midwife, who was wonderful. I think Anna was like the number 2027th baby that she had helped birth. And she was amazing and just calmed any fear that I had at that time. But what a learning curve, right? The first 3 months of Anna as an infant, she only woke up like once a night. It was wonderful. She slept long. She slept good hours. I thought, oh man, this motherhood, it's good. It's good to me. And then, about 3.5 months along, she started cutting teeth. And about 4 months old, they actually broke through the surface. And I was like, oh my goodness, every hour and a half, 2 hours, all through the night, all through the day, she was up. And then she decided she really liked to be cozy in mama's bed in the middle of the night. And so she would wake up, and then of course that just started a process of teething, right? The years of teething that the babies go through. But she decided she really enjoyed it. And so she really milked it a lot. And at that time, there were some major distractions that were happening in my life. Other people were losing their babies. And so I was ultra attentive in the night, because, my sister lost a baby at stillborn. My sister-in-law had stillborn babies. My sister had a baby at 3 months old, died of crib death. Another one of my friends that had a baby that was born dead. And I was like so, anxious over this, my firstborn. And so I was like ultra attentive throughout the night, throughout the day, and Anna just milked it all she could. And so, anyway, we didn't get a whole lot of sleep those first 3 years. And of course, she was, once our second daughter was born, 2 years later, Shelly was sleeping through the night at 6 months old, and Anna was still getting us up in the middle of the night. And her love language is physical touch. So she loved the hugs, she loved the snuggles, and she still does today. I still love her hugs and her snuggles as a grown woman. And she lives in Peru, and she's a beautiful creative. She loves her family. She's a great mom. She has three beautiful children, our grandchildren, our oldest three grandchildren. Her oldest is 11 and a 9-year-old, and her son is 7-year-old. And so they're all young, in school, active. And I love to see how she loves her children. I love to watch the struggles that she has every day and how she manages them, and how she works up the courage to walk through them, even when she feels like she's out of control or things are out of control, her control. But she still has a loving calm. There's just a peace, and just you can tell God is all over her. God is all over her motherhood. And I think it's part of our God-given DNA as women. That God-given destiny, that input, that deposit of God in our lives of being women, sharing in His heart, the part of Him that is so loving and kind and caring. And I believe that motherhood is a part of our maturity. That it's God's process in us to mature us, bring us into fullness and fulfillment. I don't think I mean, I feel sorry for the women that don't have children. Maybe they choose not to have them, or maybe they can't have them, and I just pray for them. I love to pray for women who can't have babies. I've had several of them that have been able to get pregnant after we prayed for them and just believed for them and had faith for them. And I believe it's a promise from God to have children, because they are such a part of our development. And so anyway, as I watch her struggles as a young mom, her unique personality, the unique personalities of her children, as she molds them and just helps them discover their gifting, helps them discover who they are, helps them speak into their destiny, right, of who God has made them to be. I believe that helps us discover our own destiny. Now, Shelley, our second daughter, she has our three youngest grandchildren, and they are three rowdy boys, and they're all under 5. Three boys under 5, and sometimes I'll call her and I'll say, "Hey, Shelley, how you doing?" She's like, "I'm surviving, Mom. I'm surviving," but I just love to see her grit. I love to see her determination. I love to see her sacrifice, how she willingly sacrifices for her home, her family, her children. Sleepless nights. If one's not crying, the other is, and still two in diapers. And I love to watch her determination. As she does the right thing, she chooses the right thing. She chooses to love every day. She chooses to nurture them properly. She chooses to have stamina, and that ability, just her stamina and ability to enjoy her motherhood in spite of being tired, of being at your wits' end sometimes, of being exasperated by the behavior of 3 young rowdy little boys, but she still takes it on joyfully. I love that heart of motherhood. And as I experience my own children, I have 4. I have my third daughter isn't married yet. My son, my youngest, I just got married, so he doesn't have any children yet. But as a missionary and a mentor to women for many, many years, especially in Latin America, I've been able to watch the grit and the stamina of women of all cultures. Well, maybe not all cultures, but the cultures that I've been in. And the traits are the same. They share the same vision and purpose for their homes. Women are tough. If you've given birth to a child, you are tough. I don't care how they came out in the end, if cesarean or natural or whatever. You are a tough woman just to carry a baby 9 months along. Fight for that baby. Determined to bring life to that baby. You are tough. And don't let anybody tell you you're not. There's just something about a woman, the grit in a woman, the grit, the determination that I love. I love to watch. I love to see. That's what I really want to portray in this Mama Bear series, is really portray the characteristic traits of that. We put up with a lot of stuff, and we put up with a lot of it many times still loving, still tender, still caring, still nurturing, still doing, still being the mom, and I think that those are, many times there's opposing attributes that are going on inside of us, right? There's that fierceness of the grizzly, but yet that tender love of protecting. There's that, that determination to do what is right, but yet, giving room for error and still wanting our children to grow through their mistakes. I just love women. I have to confess, though, I didn't used to like to work with women. I worked with children for many years. I worked with youth for many years. I worked just in the church, evangelizing, working with my husband, planting churches, doing that. I didn't ever want to start a women's ministry because I thought that women were just naggy and bossy and complaining and gossips. I just didn't want to. But then the Lord said, "Will you take care of my moms?" Oh, that got my heart. It's like, all right, Lord, you bring me the moms, and I'll help them. I'll care for them. I'll pray for them. I'll minister to the moms, the mamas, or the mama bears. And so that's what has been the inspiration of this Mama Bear series and Tender Love. And I want to just talk a little bit about Mama Grizzly Bears, because they are a fright to deal with. They can rip a person apart, you know, and you know, they're very fierce, very, very fierce. However, they are also the most loving moms and mammals in creation. And I want to first just speak. I want to be able to speak to the women, the grizzly bear mama, you know, that grizzly bear mama. And in this piece behind me, it portrays a strong protection, even frightening to the enemy of that grizzly bear mama for their homes and their children. But yet at the same time, loving, caring, kind, you know, for at those moments that she needs to be. And our fulfillment as mothers doesn't come from applause in the public from people. Our fulfillment as moms doesn't come with a diploma that we hang on our wall, right? Motherhood. It doesn't come with lots of riches in our bank account. In fact, most of the time, children empty our bank accounts, right? But there's a satisfaction in motherhood that is like none other. It's being able to watch our children grow. Watch them develop. Watch them come out of their little shells and be that little, you know, out of that little cocoon of whatever their little internal struggles are, you know, of learning disabilities or capabilities or lack thereof, or too much thereof, or whatever their little struggles are, and being birthed into that beautiful butterfly that then they can fly and reach the skies and accomplish their destiny. And so, you know, I want hope and faith to be the things that are instilled in mamas and mothers as they see this series of painting, as we work with our children and our grandchildren, and we love them and we care for them, and we instill in them, we teach them their destiny. And, you know, it's something that we're going to take throughout the ages, throughout eternity. You know, our children are our glory, that they are our crown and glory. And I know there are many, many moms that have children that they're prodigals. You know, they're out there in the pig pens. You know, they're out there in drugs or other things. And I just want to speak to you and say, don't give up. Never give up on them. Never give up on them. Be a fierce, grizzly mama. Determined that the enemy will get off their backs, and that you will continue to protect them with your prayers. You will continue to protect them with your love, your care, your tenderness, right? And you'll win them back from that pig pen and from that area where they're at. And, you know, when it's all said and done, you know, we have enjoyed the calling that is unique to women to show and portray the heart of God to generations, to people, to the next generation, to our children, our families, our homes. You know, and what a privilege that is for a woman. And I just want to speak to any woman that has abused or abandoned or rejected or really suffering because they're a woman. They're you know, discriminated against, or they're in a nation where women are lowest on the totem pole. Just really want to speak to you. I want to speak life to you. I want to speak that you are created in the image of God. God loves you. He designed you to be a nurturer, to share his heart with your children and the next generation. So anyway, I just kind of some final words in this area. I just want to speak to you, mamas. Be determined to keep your head above the waters, right? Keep your head above the water until you learn to walk on the water, and until you learn to dance in the rain. And I've got trust in you. I've got faith in God, his grace upon you. And, you know, before I close out this little video, I want to talk to you about some characteristics of the grizzly mama, because I really think that they can show us a path. They can, you know, they can be a testimony to us, an example to us as we embark on this motherhood journey that nobody's trained us for, right? And so, anyway, the greatest attributes of women, I think, from the very beginning of time, from the first woman, Eve, is the beauty of their hearts. The beauty of their hearts to portray to their homes, their families. Just like this mama grizzly, right? They are known for their strong maternal instincts. They're known for their fierce practices, you know, of protecting their cubs. You know, they're known for their very good instincts in parenting, parental behavior. And while they're very sensitive to the needs of their cubs. And this mama grizzly behind me, if you can see her there, she's very fierce, but yet in this moment, in this position and pose, you can see a love. You can see a care, the tender care upon her. But her very size and who she is intimidating, right? And those are some of the characteristics that we have. I just want to read a couple of things here to you that I found on the internet about mama grizzlies. And so these are some characteristics that I found. One, they have very much a protective nature. And the mother grizzly bear is known for their fierce protection of their cubs after displaying aggressive behavior to ward off any perceived threats. I mean, very aggressive behavior. She's very attentive and devoted to her cubs, very attentive to their needs, devoted, ensuring their safety and their well-being. She has strict discipline. She's affectionate, but she's very strict, teaching her cubs essential survival skills and appropriate behavior. She's sensitive to their needs, sensitive to when they cry, their cries or their whines, and she's ready to comfort them, to care for them. She's an educator. In the wild, the female grizzly bear assumes the role of educating her cubs, protecting them, teaching them, showcasing them remarkable intelligence. Cubs learn survival skills as they observe and imitate their mama bear. They're nourishing and caring as they nurse their babies. They nurse their cubs. They provide them with milk and other essential nutrients. They show them how to hunt. They show them where to pick berries and the things to eat, the things not to eat. They're also very vocal and give warning signs to their baby cubs. They're vocal and they go, you know, they'll give a huff and a puff, you know, to their cubs to quiet them. They also give them warning signs, you know, puffing or popping sounds, awaiting even a little bit of a growl, or sometimes they'll even show some imagery of like charging, just to, you know, show them to stay away from certain things. And so, you know, there's very much protective instincts that the mama grizzly shows them. They're very they will fight and defend their cubs to the death against any predators, any male grizzlies or any other predator that would come after their cubs. They are ready to fight. They're ready to defend them. They also can climb a tree. They can teach their cubs how to climb a tree, get out of danger, get out of the way of predators. So they'll teach their cub get up in a tree first, and then they'll attack. So they protect them. They teach them those skills. They're very territorial as well. Mother grizzlies will carve out part of the territory, and then they'll mark it, and they'll teach their daughters, you know, even how to determine the food source in those areas, and how not to overlap them with other areas, so that the young bears have the advantage. And so, anyway, those mother bears, I am just gaining an appreciation for these mother grizzlies. The other bears in my series may not be grizzly bears. They might actually even be lions. They might be, you know, tigers. I don't know. I have some different ideas rolling around in my heart. I just really want to pray about it and see what the next one will be. But I wanted to show this to you, encourage you in your motherhood. Again, I love being a mother. I hope you love being a mother. I know it's a cross to bear. It definitely is. There's a lot of sacrifice in being a mother, but there's so much satisfaction. And you know, as your children are little, my grandma used to say, when your children are little, they'll step on your toes. When they're old, they only step on your heart. When I believe that they don't have to step on our hearts, but they capture our hearts, right? They capture our hearts. And when they're little, they capture our toes, maybe, you know, and do things that we have to, you know, kind of navigate through and help them in their behavior and help teach them and guide them and nourish them. Anyway, I bless you today. I wanted to show you real quick. Again, if you've seen my other Mama Bear series video, this is, if not, there is another one that you can look at, still on this painting. This is my Tender Love painting. And as you can see, as I back up here a little bit, as you can see, the woman has a sight of just awe. Oh my goodness. And as I'll show it up too close also. But she's looking at the mama bear like awestruck and like, oh my goodness, this is such a great example. This is such a wonderful mother to her cub. Look at how tender but yet how fierce and how strong she is. And so I've tried to capture her with this expression, and then the mama bear looking back at her with a knowing between the two, an understanding between the two of motherhood. We know what it's like to be a mama. We know what it's like to be a mama bear. We know the love of our cubs, and we will do it with all of our might. So anyway, check me out on my website, athieson.com. Subscribe below. Give me a thumbs up if you like this. If you like this inspiration, and yeah, let's get connected. Let me know what you feel about this. What does this painting speak to you? I'd love to know in the comments below. So until next time, God bless. Take care.